welcome to Connecting Creatives. My name's Jessica Porter.
My name's George Meredith.
And we are both Connecting Creatives.
Yeah.
We are here with our fourth Backstage Bits vlogcast. And this particular one is going to be Chapterhouse Theatre Company's outdoor production of The Secret Garden. Just for your information, if you've not seen one of these before, we go backstage on different productions of all different genres and types of production, and we look at the backstage features of that production, including costumes, props, set, the venue, and we also get an interview with the cast, and we put bits of either rehearsal footage or production footage in there so we don't give too much away, and we also have photos in there, and every one of them is different, and it's just a really good insight into the backstage of a production and the things that you don't see. So as I said, this particular one is The Secret Garden for Chapterhouse Theatre Company. If you watch our third vlog that we did, so the last one we did, that was Treasure Island for Chapterhouse Theatre Company. And it's the same cast that are doing this play, sort of, because we did have a stand-in, which Matt, you'll see in the interview, explains. And he plays Mr. Craven and Ben Weatherstaff. And is standing in for another member of the cast. It's a really good watch, isn't it? We did it at Buxton Pavillion Arts Centre. So this particular one is an outdoor production, but this was like one of the only venues that we have that are indoor, and it had always planned to be indoor. Usually they're just indoor if
weather conditions, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, for example, we were in Hatfield House down south of the day, weren't we? And originally that was planned to be outside, but due to the weather they moved it into their banquet hall.
Yeah, but at Buxton Pavillion Arts Centre it always planned to be inside, so we kind of wanted to show you a different take on the shows that we're taking out as they are outdoor. But yeah, this one's indoor and it was a great venue, so we thought we'd treat you to this.
So it's now my turn to do my favourite part of the podcast.
And what's that? It's not a podcast.
Vlogcast, favourite part of the vlog, which is bad show explanations. Just block your face there, Jessica.
You do that every time.
Oh, this is my moment. I don't want you in shot. So, because I am dreadful at explaining anything, I get to explain the show so you don't get too much away. Eventually I plan this to have it be its own section, to have like its own theme music, a big graphic on the screen, but that will come in time, just you wait. And we can do that because I'm the one that edits it, so do I like, really, you know what I mean? But Secret Garden, many of you may have seen Secret Garden before, read it as a child. There was a woman in the audience who actually gave a full explanation and storyline to her child before the show had started. Thinking, well, she knows the story. But the character of Mary Lennox,
yes,
she goes through a tragedy, which we won't tell too much about.
It's different in every version.
There's different reasons and there's different things, but the general constant is she goes through a tragedy and has to go live with her uncle in Yorkshire, alongside the Moor. And her uncle's a bit of a weird man. He's a recluse after losing his wife. And there's secrets in the house, not just the secret garden. There's secrets and rules and everything. And it's that element of adventure, Mary finding herself and finding these things and getting her little band of people together eventually from finding and tracing down the stuff. And the element of finding the secret garden is more than just finding the garden, it's finding something else, isn't it?
It's like a discovery of Mary Lennox herself. But we discussed this in the interview that you'll see, but we think that all the characters have their own sort of pain, but it's about overcoming that and discovering yourself. And I think there's something in that when they discover the secret garden. But it's a very cute, magical, uplifting show, even though the themes are quite
dark.
dark.
But they're all
very uplifting.
Speaking about finding something, you know, they've all got pain. They're all trying to find something different, aren't they? It's not like they're all just looking for the same thing. You know, they're all looking for different things. One's looking for adventure. One's looking for friendship. One's looking for like a reason. You know, one's looking for something to basically have a meaning, you know, give meaning to them and everything. So it's really well done, that the fact that all different characters have a different raison d'etre. Learned that on Red Dwarf. Yeah.
Also, we've upgraded. We've got some new stuff, haven't we?
Yeah, we've got some new mics, new camera, new editing software. That's a fun one. Because I don't know how to use it yet, but it's new. It's new, and we're gonna get some little more extras that you'll see over the upcoming vlogs and everything, and things will adapt to a point where you're majorly impressed with us.
On to the footage.
Hello and welcome to Connecting Creatives. As you can see today, we're at Buxton Pavillion Arts Centre. We're here for Secret Garden. We're all set up indoors for once. So it's nearly show time, so enjoy the show. Hello, and welcome. So we've got 4 members of the cast and a new member of the cast in Matt. So we've got Katie, wait for us. Well, they can't see me pointing, can you? Katie, Tim,
Hi.
Jessica, that you all know, and Matt. So Matt, you're standing in for...
I'm standing in for Ben Weatherstaff and Mr. Craven today.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Lovely. Today.
Yes.
Tomorrow changes
Tomorrow
everything.
it may be a different part.
Different day.
So Jessica, you're playing
Martha.
in Secret Garden. Tim?
I'm playing Colin in The Secret Garden.
Katie?
I'm playing Mary in The Secret Garden. Fun is the first word that comes to mind. She goes on quite a journey of growth, so that's been fun to play with and do things differently every time. And I hate to admit that she's quite similar to what I was like as a child, so it's been quite fun revisiting that childhood part of myself.
And now we are going to show you some of the props and later some of the costumes for our production of The Secret Garden. First of all, we have these suitcases that we use for the beginning of the scene. They are great. They fit the period of the piece and the time, the style. They're really well made, and we use them stylistically in different parts at the start to show the train station.
Oh, passengers for the Yorkshire Coach! Passengers! Excuse me, please. Ticket office over there, miss. You have to help me. Oh, find your own way, Bill. But I don't know where I am going. Well, what am I supposed to do about that? I can't tell you where you're coming and going, Les.
No, but I can. Martha and Mary, we sit on them to tell stories of the Secret Garden, so we use these props in many different ways.
Who are you?
Ben Weatherstaff. You and me are alike, wove out the same cloth. We're both as sour as we look, and both got the same nasty tempers too, I'll warrant.
No, we have not.
It's quite weird for me because I actually did The Secret Garden, the original production of The Secret Garden, 4 years ago, I can't remember, 4 years ago I think, and I was playing Dickon. So now I'm playing 2 completely different roles, but I very, very clearly remember a lot of the direction that the actor who was having those roles at the time was getting from Phil, who was directing it at the time, and so I've got that in my head. I've also got a bit of the performance that I've seen from this year in my head, and of course my own sort of little take on it as well. So it's challenging, being half on script, half off script. But I think once you've given it a go as an actor, you sort of feel like you can do anything after that because the pressure's really on.
Yeah.
And luckily, the rest of the cast have been very, very helpful in terms of working me into the production. Yeah. And also, we've been lucky with the audiences as well. I've been introducing the show and saying, this is the situation, sorry, I'll do the best I can, and they've been really nice. So.
Yeah, as long as you explain it, a lot of the time they're quite happy to accept it, isn't it? It's when it's not explained and you're just going, why has he got a book?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's a good thing about outdoor theatre as well, is that the audiences do tend to be like, I think it's fair to say, a little bit more friendly and up for a bit of a laugh and whatever than a serious theatre audience who've come to see a theatre play. So it's been good, just a bit stressful.
Yeah.
So keep them all away. I don't want to see anyone now. Oh, what are you doing here?
I've come to see you.
You shouldn't have bothered.
Good day, Miss Mary. Colin,
You're late.
what is the matter with you?
Why didn't you come sooner?
Because it is the most wonderful thing. We have found the secret garden.
What?
Oh, it's so beautiful, Colin. It's started to come back to life already.
Wait, you said we found the garden.
Yes, Dickon and I.
Oh, Dickon, you're always going on about him. I shall send him away from Mistleplate if you stay with him instead of coming to see me.
If you did, I would never come and see you again.
You will if I tell you.
I will not.
I'll make you. They'll drag you in by your hair if they have to.
They may. But I shall stand here and grit my teeth and I shan't even look at you. I barely want to look at you now. You're the most selfish boy I ever saw.
I'm not so selfish as your Dickon, keeping you away from me, while I lie here in the dark.
He is the loveliest boy in the world.
He's common.
He is 1,000 times better than you.
I cannot be selfish, because there is a lump on my back, and I'm very ill, and I'm going to die.
No, you're not. You just say that so people will feel sorry for you. I think you're proud of it. But it won't make people like you.
Now we are going to show you some of the costumes that we use in The Secret Garden. So Mary Lennox, who is the protagonist character that we follow through her journey, this is the first dress that she wears when she is living in India, and then something happens. But yeah, this is what she wears. Very flowy, great when the sun is shining outdoors because she's not boiling. And then obviously she also wears a coat, so a coat of the period, a coat of the time, and she also wears her berets that Mary Lennox is typically known for, especially if you've seen the film. We also have our puppets that we use kind of as a surprise in the play, but because you're watching this, you've got some backstage surprises. This is Captain the Fox, which I mainly puppeteer when I'm not playing Martha. And yeah, they're all made for Chapterhouse Theatre Company specifically. They get wet with us during our outdoor tours.
And I will get all the fresh air I need when I'm working on my garden.
Don't move!
Who are you?
Move and thou frighten him. A wild animal.
What is it?
A fearsome wildebeest of the moor.
Will it hurt me?
Aye, rip it to shreds, give it half the chance.
Get it away from me!
Keep your voice low when wild things are about, or it'll startle them. Wild things don't like to be startled.
What are you doing? It'll bite you.
Hello.
You're a liar. It's not a wild animal at all.
Captain's a friendly sort of wild and...
I know who you are. You are Dickon. Mother told me you could sing to the animals to make them tame.
And I know thou art Mary, Mary, quite contrary. And I don't sing to 'em to make 'em tame. I talk to 'em.
I knew somebody else who could talk to the animals once. Somebody in India.
Do you want to meet the old captain? Come on, hold out thy hand. Show me we want to be friends. That's it, nice and low. He likes that.
Does he really?
Seems that way.
Oh, I'll be. That's a sight I not thought I'd see, Miss Contrary.
Oh, Mr. Weatherstaff. I'm friends with the animals now.
Aye, I can see that. Has worked thy magic on that little wretch from India, then.
Mr. Weatherstaff, Do you have any tools I may borrow? My uncle says I may have my own bit of land in the garden.
In that trunk over there. Seeds and all. Take enough for what they need.
I think some of myself I put into Martha.
The gossipy part.
Yeah, well, no. I think I'm not like Martha straight up, but there are a lot of qualities in her that I do take from myself. But then I feel like your grandma definitely influences my choice.
I was
of
about
Martha.
to say, if she doesn't mention my grandma,
Yeah.
I'm grassing her right.
Yeah, no. I feel like Martha is really mature for her age. Like, I think that she's around 18 years old. That's what I'm playing her as. But I think because she's had to grow up quite quickly, she's got a lot of brothers and sisters. She's quite mature in that sense. So it's nice, the relationship between Mary and Martha, because I think Mary grows up she kind of develops through the show, and I think like the first scene with Martha and Mary is really nice to see, like the two different levels of maturity that happen, because Martha is also quite immature as well, but in a different way. So it's like it's kind of nice to see like the two different kind of qualities that they both have.
Come on, let's get you out of all this black. But it is mourning for my parents. They died, I'm an orphan. I can be an orphan in colour. I can. What is my uncle like? Oh, Mr. Craven. Oh, he's the master. Ain't right talking about him. I bet you don't even know him. Yes, I do. I bet you've never even spoken to him. Well, I know he's not like other men. Other gentlemen.
Then at the start, as I said, it's set in India, so we have our mutineer costume, which may give away what does happen at the start. But yeah, this is what they wear. Very intricate, embroidered, and has the Indian theme to it. And then this is the sash that they wear. Is Fritz, Grumpy Fritz. So this is Mr. Craven's cat. Very grumpy, but also very lovable in the play, and is he often guards Mr. Craven's study, which Mary wants to go in to find the key to the secret garden.
Fritz, I know you're only trying to look out for your master, but this is very important. I have to speak with my uncle. If only I could remember how Officer Blake would charm the snakes back in India.
So he's quite a big part in our version of The Secret Garden. Made specifically for Chapterhouse, and they've been used in every tour of The Secret Garden so far.
So rehearsals, we only had about a week and a half for Secret Garden. And yeah, it was mad, and we were still developing it in the first 2 weeks of taking it on tour, weren't we?
Oh yeah.
Really. So we were still working out little scenes. I mean, like, as company manager, but as cast member as well, like the show's just turned into something that we're all really comfortable with. And if we don't do Secret Garden for 5 days and then we come back, we're all pretty comfortable to do the scenes, over again, do the whole show over again. Even despite the fact that we've had so much time away. Rehearsals were, most of them were in like a tiny little room, attic room, and which meant that putting it on a stage outside in the open I think, well, it certainly threw me a bit to begin with when we first took outside, because entrances, just technical wise, entrances and exits were all different, and then obviously you have a wonderful smooth floor to push a wheelchair over inside, whereas when you take it out into the open, when you're running it over a stage which has been packed for 3/4 of an hour and still isn't quite sort of straight, there's a bit of bumps. Katie and I have had wonderful adventures going over that stage, lots of bumps and getting stuck,
Ramming you a little bit.
Yeah, so it's I think as far as the trajectory of the show is concerned, it's become one which we're all really comfortable with.
So here you can see the set in action. Due to some little time constraints, we've decided to do a little commentary for you this time. Do a little voiceover, from a voice from the heavens. So it's me, George, and
Me, Jess.
Anyway,
so you can see the set here. We'll start with the tree. The tree is decorated for every show.
By yourself.
Yeah, I do it. It's my little job. I love
your
it.
little
I
project.
really love it.
First time I see it. What's my tree, George?
Yeah,
Watch
it's
it.
made of foam.
It's
is that
almost
what it is?
it's like almost like an expandable foam resin. But it's really durable.
So we can easily kind of put the flowers in the foam. The tree is specific to a storyline that is prominent within the story, and that's why we have it as an add-on as part of the set, because it's visual and the audience can see a visualization of what the tree involved would look like.
Yeah, and because it's quite a flat set as it is, because it's all set around the entrance, the lost entrance, shall we say, to the secret garden. So without it there, it would be quite flat and 2D. But I really like the way, as you can see, the ivy and everything is coating the wall and everything, and the way it hides the door to the point where it goes fully to, you'd have to go quite close to be able to find the door handle.
Yeah.
So you can't see from a distance where the door handle. I think it's really well covered and everything.
As you come across the set, you can see the door, almost, as George said, underneath the ivy and the moss. And midway through the show, we realise that the door does open as Mary has found the key and she goes through into the secret garden. And because this is an outdoor show, usually as you enter through the door, we make sure that the set is put in front of a piece of scenery that makes it look like she really is
trees,
entering.
bushes, gardens and everything.
Yeah, so a pretty bit of land that makes her look like she's entering into the secret garden.
But yeah, there's the set. Enjoy the rest of the video. Oh, you like that one, didn't you?
Yeah.
Look at that. Just came up with that on the spot. It's not even in my book.
I think, for me, something I've taken away from the audiences as well is that the secret garden means something different to every generation. We get school kids and like children as young as probably we have had a few babies, but obviously discounting those, but like from young to like the older generations, everyone has a connection to the story. Like I have little girls who go as Mary to World Book Day, and then I've got like their grandmas saying that it was their favourite story growing up. And I think that's the good thing about it, is there's so many layers to it. You can watch it and enjoy it for kind of like a children's bedtime story, or if you really like look into the characters deeper, they all have things they overcome and grow from. Like Colin physically and psychologically, but like physically has a lot to deal with and manages to overcome. And I think for Mary, she kind of finds who she wants to be, and she decides that she wants to believe in something more than herself. And I think that's a really nice part of the story, is that it's about bringing people together, and it is about, like, as corny as it is, finding the magic in the little things in life that can change who you are and change how you see the world and bring people together from such different, that everyone's all the characters are so different and have different backgrounds and stuff, but they all are united by like one thing.
I think there's a certain amount of there's lots of characters that are in pain in some way. In fact, all the characters are in pain. Possibly with the exception of Martha, as she and Dickon. They've got their own. They're poor. They have their own issues at home. But they're like an example to everybody else in the play of what can happen if you're kind and loving towards other people. So pain is universal, but kindness is also universal, and one can trump the other. I think is a good message for the story.
And overcoming fears as well.
Yeah.
In the very first scene, like Mary's shown a snake, which she's absolutely terrified of, and I think that theme of like addressing fear is introduced very early on, and Colin overcomes his fear of going outside, and Mary overcomes that fear of the snake, but also the fear to talk to people, I think. And then Mr. Craven sees his wife in his son and is afraid to talk to his son and be in the same room as him. And so those three characters definitely overcome fear in the play. I think that's an overarching message.
I think it like handles grief in a way that isn't patronising, but isn't also like put there on a plate. You wouldn't necessarily watch The Secret Garden and think, well, this is about like loss and like on your first like looking at it, but especially for like the Cravens and Mary, they've all like experienced an immense amount of grief, and for an adult, Craven shows kind of like how he's badly dealt with it and then learns to come to like deal with it in a more positive way. And for the children, like no one teaches children about grief. I mean, it's a quite a remarkable way to show how things can get better with it, like having suffered loss without it being like shoved down your throat that's what it's about. I don't know.
Great.
I agree with you guys.
And finally,
what they said.
Finally, are we all excited not to be doing a show in the rain and being indoors in the warm?
It's pretty nice.
It's being an actual theatre as well.
It feels so strange to be back in a theatre after what feels like forever.
Bizarre. It's bizarre.
Like lighting and a dressing room and wings and space that isn't on stage. Like you can go off stage, because I feel like it's just a dream. It's great.
Well, thank you all very much for staying and talking to us today.
Thanks for
you.
having us.
Enjoy the show.
Thank you.
You too.
How did you bring this place to life?
Why? We did it with a little bit of magic. Sun is shining brightly, flowers they are growing, roots are stirring in the earth. That is the magic.
Hello everybody again. Thank you for watching our footage from The Secret Garden, our vlogcast on Chapterhouse Theatre Company's production. We hope you all enjoyed it, because we certainly did. It was a great day. And we're going to have, because I was in the production.
You're in again.
Yeah.
This is Jessica's vanity project. This is just to show off. It's just basically an excuse to get showreel footage. No denying it there.
No, it's not.
She was fantastic, as always.
But we're going to have an unbiased review.
Unbiased review. Jessica was amazing! No, I do that every time.
You're annoying.
No, it's a great show. I mean, I am limited in my mind. I am a man, so pirates.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So out of the two shows, my personal opinion is Pirates. But they are both two very standalone shows. And now, like, I've been to see both multiple times. My mother has been to see them both.
This is Treasure Island as well, just so
yes.
you're all aware.
Yes, Treasure Island from Chapterhouse and Secret Garden from Chapterhouse. And my mother and Mike, who are of an older generation, both vastly preferred Secret Garden. It really appealed to them and the undertones and that stuff like that. And then I feel that the younger generation are more Treasure Island. But then I think there's a middle ground where parents and families meet on both of them, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I feel like The Secret Garden is good for all ages.
Yes. Yeah.
You can connect to it.
Yeah, I think Treasure Island is just fun.
Yeah.
But that was just a little comparison of the two. But see, again, I think it's a good show. It's well done, and I think especially this one, we really got to show the story. And I think it's difficult when you do outdoor tours because you lose the ability to do lighting and effects and textures and using go-boats and stuff like that. You lose that ability because obviously you're outside. And I do think a lot of the time that can really make or break a show. And I think you guys do fantastically without all that, because a scene has to be set by the performance, not by the lighting. It's really easy to go, this is, let's talk about Panto, for example. Panto is 3 colours. You want red, you want green, you want blue. You can light Panto with those 3, with a bit of white in the middle of there somewhere. You can go, this is a good guy, this is a bad guy, this is a moody scene. Simple as that. And lighting can change your scene. So when you haven't got that, it relies on the actors to be able to change the mood of the scene more, because the lighting kind of gives you a prompt, doesn't it? It kind of goes, this is now a sad scene, this is an angry scene, this is a happy scene. You don't have that with no lights, and I think you guys do fantastically at setting that.
The atmosphere.
As soon as the first person comes on, and the tone they have to have really does set that scene. And I think that's more prominent in Secret Garden than it is in Treasure Island, because it doesn't need to be in Treasure Island.
Yeah.
It's not got as many deep themes and as much, shall we say, mood swings as Secret Garden does. The Secret Garden really relies on the actors to be able to do that, and they do that fantastically, and that's an unbiased review.
We do it in different ways as well. There is no... the music is done live on stage.
Yes.
So we usually have guitar, clarinet, and the drum that's done by all the cast, and that sets a mood pretty well.
Yeah, it does, and that's the thing. As you see, the start of the show starts with the banging of the drums, and by Jessica. Jessica's the drummer, but it works. It really sets the tone, and when it all goes a bit Pete Tong, the drums start again.
Yeah. And
it really sets the mood for what's going on, and then with the clarinet coming in, it relaxes things a bit, but then also suggests the magic that's a big theme.
Yeah, as well as the music, though, what you're saying is the energy from the actors on stage changes from scene to scene.
Yeah, and that's required in this kind of show, and I think you guys have, let's be honest, after a very long run, have mastered that. And it's now come to the end of your run. There's 3 weeks left.
Get your ticket.
But so it's a really good show. They did really well. If you get a chance to go and see either of them, go and see them and support Jessica and Connecting Creatives.
And just to finish off, we are still running the Connecting Creatives Playwright Project. If you have a script, if you are a writer of any sort or a creative of any sort, and you have a script that you would like to submit, you can at connectingcreativesoutlook.com. We are hoping to put a full hour-long length script of any genre, so any type of production, on stage. The writer will work closely with the creative team, and it's just a really good opportunity to do that. So I'm hoping to direct it, and then obviously we'll cast for actors, technician. But if any other creatives do want to get involved, do get in touch with us, connectingcreativesoutlook.com, and we'd love to read your scripts, and hopefully if yours is picked, put it on. I'm thinking at the beginning of 2020, but there will be a set date when we have time.
Some time off.
Yeah.
But
we're thinking January, February, when it's really quiet and there's nothing to do. We're thinking around that time.
Yeah, seems to be the best time, and means people will be free to do it, and people will be wanting something to watch because it's a quiet time of year. So it's a very clever marketing blow.
Yeah. Anyway, thank you for watching. Really appreciate it, and we'll see you in the next one.
Inch by inch, row by row, how to make this garden grow. All it takes is a rake and a hoe and a piece of fertile ground. Inch by inch, row by row, Someone bless these seeds I sow. Someone warm them from below till the rain comes tumbling down.
Pulling weeds and picking stones, man is made of dreams and bones. Feel the need to grow my own, 'cause the time is close at hand. Grain for grain, sun and rain, find my way in nature's chain. Tune my body and my brain to the music from the land.
Inch by inch, row by row, oh, to make this garden grow. All it takes is a rake and a hoe and a piece of fertile ground. Inch by inch, row by row, someone bless these seeds I sow. Someone warm them from below till the rain comes tumbling down.
Plant your rows straight and long, temper them with prayer and song. Mother Earth will make you strong if you give her love and care. An old crow watching hungrily from his perch in yonder tree. In my garden I was free as that feathered thief up there, and inch by inch, row